Hey YouTube, this is Rebecca coming into you with no limits on weeks 48 and 49. My high weight was 224.2, surgery weight was 204. My current weight is 173.4. I'm down 1.4 pounds for a total loss of 46.8. I'm still not down to the very lowest I've been. My lowest was like 172, so I'm 1 point up from that. Still struggling to get under the 170s. It has been an extremely long 4-month stall. But I talked to you last week about, or last couple of weeks, I talked to you about some of the things that I'm failing at. You know, like we have our list of to-dos for bariatric patients, and of those, two of the things that I was really lacking in was my water and tracking. So I would like to say and attribute the fact that I lost 1.4 pounds instead of gained 1.4 pounds or stayed the same. I'm going to say it's because I started tracking. As much as I hated that, because my Fitness Pal is like really tough for me to do. So I was tracking. I mean, I've tracked. It's not that I've never tracked. I did on and off, and I've just never been consistent with it. So I try to be more consistent. And so like the last week, I've been tracking everything going in my mouth, and I am astonished. I'm astonished at how many calories add up so fast. And I think that I was in my mind thinking, this is so many calories, this is so much. And in my mind I was thinking, I'm not getting over 1,200 calories. But when you sit down and look at every single piece of everything that goes in your mouth, it adds up like huge. There's a certain type of phenomenon that happens with weight loss surgery, or at least the sleeve I can speak about. And even though you have this really teeny tiny little stomach, although as you get further out, it gets a little bit bigger, or it heals and isn't as swollen, or I don't know what it is, but you can eat more food. And what is really crazy is if you eat a dense piece of meat, like a piece of chicken like this, or something, you can get filled up with the right amount. However, let's say, I think my nutritionist said that it would be a good idea at this point, I should only be eating 3/4 a cup of food, which sometimes I can really push that and go to a cup or more, depending on the food, and I can actually go quite a bit more if I'm eating something other than protein. The phenomenon that I'm talking about is that you could probably eat double the amount, consistency-wise, of carbs than you can protein. I'm not sure how you fit it all in your little sleeve, but it can happen. I shouldn't know this. But going to places like a Mexican restaurant and eating their chips and salsa, I have been astonished at how many chips that I can actually eat compared to just your dense protein. That is something to really take note of, because when you start getting out this far and you stop losing the weight and even possibly start gaining a little bit of weight, or you're really having to watch it now, whatever, however you want to put that, to really take into account that your protein, getting that in first, is going to be a lifesaver for you to continue losing weight, and counting your calories. That was big. I know a lot of you have counted calories religiously. Kudos to you. I just have never been consistent in that. Although I'm a pretty consistent person, that is something that I consistently need to be consistent about. But I'm not there yet. But I'm still working toward those. My water is not Still not there. I'm still working as well. So this weird phenomenon that's happening with the carbs is it's kind of scary because it also doesn't hurt as bad. When you eat dense protein, it's uncomfortable to eat it. It can make you feel full or hurting sometimes if you eat a little too much. Carbs don't hurt at all. I mean, it feels good to eat that. And so when you feel good, you want to keep doing that. And you're tempted to just feel good for the moment. That's the thing that's bad. So, really trying to think about that at this stage. Okay, so on MyFitnessPal, just to give you an idea, and if you have any comments, like if you've been tracking and you're like, oh my gosh, you should not be doing that, or that's a good, please, feel free to leave comments. I like to know kind of like what you guys are doing too. I'm doing 1,200 calories a day, 150 carbs, 75 protein, 100 iron, 2,300 sodium, and 45 sugars. So I don't know how far away from the base that is for you, but if you have any comments about anything, that'd be great. Anyway, so I think I was like, oh, maybe I can, lose my 25 pounds. At this point, I think I'm just sort of like, if I can get under 170, I will be very excited. So I am at 173.4. That would be 3.4 pounds. If I track and watch the carbs, I think I can make it. We'll see what happens next week. And I still haven't started my period, by the way, so I probably need to take another pregnancy test just to make sure. Anyway, I love you guys. Hope you're having a great week, and I will see you soon.